Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is March 16th, 2025. Today's video for adults only, so please take a moment to tell whoever is young to leave. Today's video about the rape of children. I was going to speak about what's happening in Syria after the regime change, and at this moment there's a lot of killing and rape. However, something happened in Egypt that it is worse than what's happening in Syria in a way, because it is people applying the tradition of Allah and the Prophet of Allah to the existing situation today. A video, unfortunately, the main news channels did not cover this. Anyway, there's a video, it's in Arabic, but you don't need the translation, it's self-explanatory. A person in his in his 30s, raped an 8-year-old girl. This is very disturbing, but to a person who is following the Prophet of Allah, it's normal. Let me put it this way. Why? I'm going to put you everything in the description box. There are hadith, there are Quran, and there are the behavior of the Prophet of Allah, may the blessing of Allah be upon him. We are in the month of Ramadan, the month that supposedly people refrain from eating, or rather indulging, drinking, and sexual relationship between husband and wife during the day. And this incident took place during the day in Ramadan in Egypt. A lady, a woman she has like a small business. Like in many countries, you have kind of like an open market, not a supermarket, but an open market. And many people go to this market and they sell whatever they produce. So her mother was selling whatever she is selling in that market. It's not an issue. And the little girl, 8 years old, she felt she needed to go to the bathroom. So nearby there is a mosque. And this mosque has a public bathroom. Thank you very much for doing that. You are helping people. The little girl, she goes to the mosque. I'm sure the mind of her mother, this is the month of Ramadan. People don't do these things. They don't eat, drink, or have sexual intercourse. In addition, this is only 8-year-old child. Nobody will touch her. She was wrong. She was wrong. A little bit later, the little girl came to her mom crying, and she's in terrible pain, and then she collapsed. And she actually explained that she told her the guy took down my pants, and she collapsed from the pain. Anyway, the guy, I saw him on video. The people got around and they kicked him and beat him up until the police came. And I know I wasn't born yesterday. I'm very sure any country in the world, all countries in the world, have rape situation. And all of them have people who rape little children, small children. I'm aware of that too. However, in all over the world, when this happens, it's because the person is mentally ill. There is no average person who would do such a thing. You have to be mentally disturbed to do such thing. The problem that I see here is there was a founder who made law that you can actually violate a child or a woman or anything, any meat, any flesh. He wants to sink his teeth in. And he made that faith and religion and the law, religious law. So we see him in the hadith. In the hadith, he used to see Aisha, the young bride, the one whom he had married her when she was 6, and he consummated the marriage when she was 9. He used to see her in his dreams in a sexual way, because the Allah personally told him you should marry this girl. So he was seeing her, I don't know how, but I mean, you could have a dream that you see your niece or your neighbor's child in the dream, but there is nothing sexual. But he saw her in a sexual manner. That's why he suggested to her father that he wanted to marry her. And the worst thing here is the father and the mother sold her in marriage. The money, she was sold in marriage. They received a dowry when she was 6. The problem here, I mean, if she got sick, she got sick at 6, and her hair used to fall off, and she was very ill. So what happened? He cannot use her at this time. So he waited until she recovered. It took her 3 years to recover. That means if she was not sick at the age of 6, he could have actually done whatever, consummated the marriage with her. He could have done with her what he had done with her when she was 9. So the problem, she was sick. And she narrates later in other hadith that her mother used to give her date, the fruit date, the dates, with butter, so that she can become strong and she can gain weight and she can recover quickly. So when she started to heal and recover and her hair started to come back, the Prophet of Allah couldn't wait. He had to jump her. So we have hadith that he used to dream of her, and the Allah himself told him that he should marry her. It's an obligation. If the Allah didn't say that, he wouldn't have done such thing. But the Allah. Okay, that is hadith about Aisha. The thing is, there's another hadith worse, and that is he saw a baby just being weaned. And according to Islam, the baby should be weaned at 2 years old. And the baby just being weaned, that means 2 years old baby, girl. He saw her. I mean, babies are very cute. Babies are very cute. But you don't look at a baby boy or girl as a sexual object. But for him, everything was sexual. So he saw this little baby, 2 years old, and he said to her parents, when she grows up, if I'm still alive, that means he was advanced in age. If I'm still alive, I'm going to put my mark on her too. I'm going to marry her. 2 years old. That what was all in his head. And no wonder that his followers, all that occupies their heads is such thing. So the thing here Maybe because 1400 years ago people were not aware of mental disturbance and mental sickness and so on and so forth. But today, these things could happen in any country, in the east or the west, north or the south. But people look at it, this person is mentally ill, therefore he has to be avoided. They put him in mental hospital, they lock him up in prison so that he cannot do that again. And they try to help him. They try to see what's wrong with his head and balance whatever chemical that it's unbalanced and help him. But we don't take his way of life, distorted way of life, and make it law and make it heavenly law. Never mind the regular laws. Make it laws of heaven. The Sharia, laws of heaven. So that's what they did. They took his sickness and they made it heavenly law. We also have a Quranic verse. I'm going to put it in the description box. It is chapter 65, verse 4. And he clearly speaks about the condition of waiting after a woman is divorced. When should she marry after the divorce? And it's very clear. A woman, if she is pregnant, she has to wait until she delivers the baby. Okay, that's good. Or if she's not pregnant, she has to wait until she has her monthly period. That's good because it means she's not pregnant of the previous husband. Okay, that's good. The problem here is, and if she, many people, many women after 45 or so, they stop menstruating, so they don't have their period. So, but to play it safe, he said the women who are after the period stopped, you should wait 3 months just in case. Because in 3 months' time, in case if you got pregnant, you will feel the baby in your womb. You can feel that you are pregnant. So you know that this baby is from the last husband that you had. So you wait until you deliver this baby and then marry. But then he continues and he says, for those who have not yet started, the girls who have not yet started to have their monthly period, they should also wait 3 months. And the question here, how old is the girl who doesn't get her period? About 12? Girls start to, it depends, but some girls from 12 years old, they start to have their period, their monthly period. Okay, that girl before 12, she got married, and she, for one reason or another, got divorced. And because she doesn't have her monthly period yet, because she's too young, she has to wait also 3 months. That means he gave permission for adult men, like he did, to marry children, to marry little girls before they start to have their monthly period. That means 7, 8, 9, and actually the Muslim in Iraq, Sunni and Shia, the Sunni and Shia, they have been fighting for 1400 years, killing one another. Only about 3 months ago, they got together and they agreed to sit together and they agreed on one thing. And that one thing is, we make a new law, introduce it to the Iraqi constitution, that a man can marry a girl at the age of 9, like the Prophet, may the blessing of Allah be upon him. The thing here is Sunni and Shia. accepted this nonsense. The only thing they united on, that sickness. Why they are united on that sickness? Because the Prophet of Allah, shall we say, was sick, mentally ill, or only you are mentally ill. You are following in his footsteps, but it might have been out of his control if he was mentally ill, sexually disturbed. I feel sympathy for a person like that. But for the person of today, if you follow this nonsense, one of two, it's either you are also mentally ill or you are mentally ill in any way, because you chose, okay, at least for the Prophet of Allah, may the blessing of Allah be upon him, he had no choice. Now you have mental hospitals, you have medicine had advanced so much, way better than using the what do you call camel's urine. We advanced so much beyond this period of using the urine of the camel and the donkey and all the stuff. There is help for people who have mental problems. So you choose not to go to a hospital and receive some help and follow this sick person and believe he is of Allah. I know of my own family, personally, okay? Two brothers. One was mentally ill, is mentally ill. He is in prison now. He prays the 5 times and he follows all the sick person had done 1400 years ago. He believes totally in this guy and he is mentally ill. His other brother doesn't believe in this nonsense, or you could say he may believe but he doesn't follow. He attacked him with a kitchen knife, wanted to kill him, and he almost lost his life. Almost. And that brother, after he had done that, well, the other one, he recovered. He stayed in the hospital for a while because he was cut badly, some arteries. And the other one is in prison. Even though he's sick mentally, he's in prison. Shall we put 2 billion people in prison? You are following this person, and it shows that this man, I know that some rape is happening in Syria, and I was planning to speak about Syria. There's murder and rape. But you've been doing that to each other for the past 1400 years. Okay? This is an extension of what's going on. So people are aware of it. But when a person in his mid-30s take an 8-year-old that she is going to use the bathroom and force her to sexual relationship and does that to her. I mean, imagine if this is your own child. Her mother, when she saw the situation, she started to scream in the market. She started to scream like crazy in the market, and who would blame her? That's her little girl. So I'm sorry, I'm very upset, and in a way, I'm sure it shows. But we are really at a crossroads, at a crossroad now, and there's no more excuse. Okay, everything, the internet have provided us with so much information that we can look and examine. But the idea that this is a prophet of Allah and we must follow him, no, you can't do that. And that's not an answer. Okay, you have to understand that people are sick and tired of this. And this little child, fortunately, I don't know the extent of the pain that this little girl will suffer in the future. Her whole life is turned upside down. Her innocence is taken away from her. And I don't know how she will be like in the future. Thankfully, she survived, but she survived physically. This person, he violated her mind, her heart. He stole her future because he is acting like the person who came to us from the Stone Age. He came to us 1400 years ago, and any flesh, anything that he sees, he used to get sexually excited. His wife Aisha, when she was having her period, he had more than one more dozen. He had actually 11 wives. So he had 10 more. Plus the concubines, the one that his right hand possessed. Who knows how many. So he had so many women. You had to, the woman who has her period, you had to do that with her. No, yeah. A person, they tell you he used to go around 11 wives during the night, and the same time he tells you he used to wake up in the middle of the night to pray. Wake up what? If you're going through 11 women at night, you are up all night. When do you pray like this? They claim that you pray. 11 wives plus those whom your right hand possess. More than a dozen women. I mean, normally people sleep about 6, 7, 8 hours at the most. When you're a busy man, a president or a king, probably sometimes they get only 4 or 5 hours at the most because they have so many things to do. And this person was claiming that he's a prophet of Allah and he has to take care of so many things. So you don't have even 3 hours to sleep. Going through all these women, and you see a girl you want 2 years old, you want to jump her. You see Aisha 5 years old, you take her, and so on and so forth. If this man was sick because it was out of his hand, those who follow that, I say it to you straight, you're sick by choice. Thank you very much. We hope to hear from you.